Good day, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and members of the Chacha Nation. My name is Afis Donova, your musical plug, the creator of the Energy Force, and I'm back with another episode of the Chacha album review series on the Chacha Music Review Podcast. This album we want to talk about today, now album we say I suppose don't talk about this album for a very long time, but for whatever reason, it keeps skipping my mind. So about 2-3 days ago, I just randomly listened to the album again. I'm like, wait, I've not done the review of this album. Why? Then I decided, you know what? Make I do this review. Nah. But I don't go do them alone. I go bring one of my longtime collaborator and my brother. When I know, say when it comes to rap music, all it did for in head they always come out smoke, and I know saying always be on point. So I decided to go and bring my guy. Now make I allow my guy introduce himself.
Good day, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Mustapha. You can also call me Neonate. I'm a hip hop head. Okay, before I don't like calling myself that, but now I'm very certain that I'm a hip hop head. Pop culture enthusiast. I think that was all. I'm a writer also. I write. I'm very proud to call myself a writer because I write interestingly.
They say music is life, so I give them the Chacha Music Review Podcast. Turned up the volume, gave them the time of their lives. They said they wanted new artists, I gave them the Chacha Spotlight series. They wanted deep music conversations, I plugged them into the Chacha Let's Talk Music series. They are crazy about the hit makers, so I hit them with the Chacha Hitmakers series. And for the albums I know they shouldn't miss, I blessed them with the Chacha Album Review series. I created the Chacha EP Compilation series, so they will have a taste of the best of EPs. They should tell their friends. You should let your family know. We should let everyone who cares about African music know. Afisnova is back in the game. And you can catch me every Saturday amplifying the African sounds by bringing the best of African music to your ears. I am your musical plug, the creator of the Energy Force, and this is the Chacha Music Review Podcast.
Today we are going to be talking about Illbliss, latest album titled Sideh Kai or Sideh Kai, whichever way you try to pronounce it. The album was named after his daughters, Sideh and Kaima. So Sideh and Kai from Kaima. Those are the name of the album. And the album was released on the 14th of February 2024. And look at now that I'm just reviewing the album. Like I said, I don't know why I've not done this review for a very long time, but it's better late than never. So if you've not listened to this album, I'm sure that after this review, you know what to do. Before we get into all of what the album contains, what the album does not contains, like I said, the album was released on the 14th of February. It has 16 tracks. The album features like of Vector, Lade, Acetune, Odumodublvck, Deborah, Faith, Thames, Cobhams, Kuti, Yukel, and Obiligbo. Those were the people that featured on the album, and the producers of the album was Skitter and Major Bangz. So, Neonate, I want you to start from the production of the album. Talk about the production of the album.
The production of the album is exciting, if I should use that word. Okay, Skitter is a new producer on the block. I think this is my first time listening to him. My first experience with him was on Masterclass. That was the first, the promotional song the Illbliss first dropped about the album. He made mention of Skitter and he had him in the video. That was when I was like, who is this guy? And where's this hip hop star? Also, the everyday favorite guy, Major Bangz, the go-to hip hop producer of Nigeria, was also a co-producer on the album. Major Bangz, like you all know, if you listen to hip hop in Nigeria, I mean actual hip hop, you know that Major Bangz is one of the best guys for you to produce hip hop tracks for you. The production is great, quite all right. We all know Illbliss and beat selection. I think in Nigeria generally, among the hip hop community, we have I would say he's the best person to pick beats for you. He knows his beats about hip hop beats, about music production, even though he doesn't produce.
Can't expect someone that spent so much time with legendary producer Suspect, not to be able to know a thing about beat selection when it comes to selecting beats, right? So obviously, like you rightly said, Illbliss is one of those hip hop artists that He never goes wrong with his beat selection. It's very, very key, and he always got it right. So looking at the album right now, you've spoken about how excellent Skitter, because honestly speaking, this is also my first time listening to any Skitter's production, at least that I'm aware of. If you don't do song, maybe I don't know, say I ain't Dwam. But on this Illbliss project, I'm totally aware that he worked on it. So yes, that is my first, awareness of his, production, and he did brilliantly well. And like you rightly mentioned, Major Bangz is when you're looking for hip hop, true hip hop to be done the way it's supposed to be done. One of those, hip hop head producers that we have, is Major Bangz. Is definitely going to, give it to you. So those two producers alone, obviously, they killed, the production, of the album. So now let's get to the album. When you first listened to the album, what was your first, reaction towards listening to the album? Were you able to listen to it from the beginning to end at a stretch, or did you pause like, I know they feel I make I come back another day, or I got to consume this thing finish all at once. I know if you wait.
I listened to it at a stretch because I was already looking forward to the album. If you happen to listen to Masterclass before they dropped it, if you watch the promotional video, you listen to those voice notes and the cameo Vector had on the video where they played the reminisce voice note. He was saying you have to infuse Lamba Limbo in hip hop to make it sound right, and how Emma was saying that hip hop is him, that without hip hop is nothing. You have that zeal to want to listen to the album. So I listened to it at a stretch, from the first track, Red Capsibo, to the last song on the album, Inyechuku the Glory. One thing I'll say is Illbliss is apologetically Igbo. He sticks to his true form. In everything he do, he tries to show you that, number one, I'm Igbo before any other thing. And it's one thing that I appreciate about him. That identity of his, that brand, also always shines.
We don't call him that Igbo boy for nothing, Abi.
Exactly.
All right. So, like you rightly said, you were able to listen to the album for the first time, all at once, and it was something you enjoyed. Because for me too, like you rightly said, I didn't even pay attention to any single that was dropped off the album. To be honest, I think it was just when the album dropped that I just went to listen to the album, immediately. I wasn't really sure I caught any song off the album before it dropped. But when I saw what they call it, the track list of the album, there were some particular song that I was looking forward to, like the song we did with Kuti and Cobhams, that is Spirit. I was really looking forward to that song. Then the one you also did with Fave. I mean, Fave is one of my favorite, so I was looking forward to that song too. And then the one he did with Vector and Lade, that's on that song I was looking forward to. Like, just seeing the track list, I was like, okay, I think I like these features, and I like, I want to listen to these songs, right? So now, when you were listening to the album for the first time, was there any particular song you had to like say, why this song comes sweet like this? You had to like play the second time before going, into the next track, or you just had to like listen, all through? There was no standout track for you immediately you were listening to the album for the first time?
There were standout tracks in the album. Firstly, I have to mention the song with Fave, Peace of Mind. Man, that song is epic. Okay, shout out to Fave. I believe every guy likes Fave. Every guy likes Fave persona. I saw a tweet from Wono Sikoya. She was saying something like, Fave is the baddest female artist in Nigeria presently. And I have to agree. None of them can touch her sleeve. They know. They all know. And I just pray that she works towards it and show them who the fuck she is. The song with Fave is number one. The second track, Masterclass, I really loved Masterclass. That song is an epic song. And I think my third favorite song that I had to spin again was Daughters. Maybe because, just like I am, Illbliss is an avid Nas fan, is a Nas fan, and Nas had a song named Daughters already, and him to having this, but him taking it another route, like making his own theme different from what Nas did, made me really enjoy the track and had to replay it. Those three tracks stood out for me the most.
I think I was I'm going to be really, really, pissed off with what they call it with Illbliss if I had listened to this album, knowing that this album was, coined or was named, using his two daughters' name, and then there's no song that talks about, any of your daughter or even your family. I think I was going to be pissed off, right? So when I saw that track 12 daughters and I listened to it, I'm like, wow. So it's not even, I mean, so here's the thing. I mean, like you rightly mentioned about Fav. Fav is, like you rightly said, she's arguably one of the best, that is doing it right now, especially when it comes to taking hooks and taking cross. She's exceptional, man. Very, very exceptional right now. And I, like you said, I just reached for her to do something that's going to be, massive and, explosive. But for me, the first song I really had to take back when I listened to it for the first time was Masterclass. In fact, you see Masterclass, Full Chest with Odumodublvck and Successful.
Yeah.
Those tracks were the first three tracks that immediately I listened to. I listened to Masterclass, I think 3 times before letting the next track play. Especially the end, when because the song does not have any feature. Do you understand? So hearing those voices felt like, am I listening to the same song? And those voices just it just summarizes everything that Illbliss rapped about, on that particular song. And it was very, very beautiful. So yeah, for me, Masterclass, Full Chest, and then Successful, those were the first 3 tracks that I had to repeat on listening to it for the first time. And then obviously when it got to Peace of Mind, because of my girl, Fav, I had to do that also. And then Spirit with Kuti and Cobhams. Yo, in fact, when I got to that part, I'm not going to lie to you, I think I played that song out like 5 times. So I said, oh boy, if I continue like this, I don't go listen to this album finish. Then I started to allow myself listening to the album to the end. And when I wanted to start listening to the album for the second time, I started from that track again, then went back to track 1, and then listening to the whole album. Now, we've obviously mentioned some couple of songs that are our favorite songs on the album and songs that we enjoyed on the album. Do you have any song on the album that you will say, okay, this song, enter, or compared to every other track on the album, I feel like this one is a letdown?
Not really. I won't say I have any. I wouldn't say that. I think all the songs were perfect songs. Just that some songs would have done better with better features, but not that. This song shouldn't have come true on the album.
I get that, and for me too, I'm not going to lie. I really, really liked every song on the album. There's no song on the album that I don't like. Even the one that sounded so funny to me. What's the name of that song? Gen Z. I mean, when I listened to Gen Z, I'm
Thank you.
Illbliss felt like that African parent that was talking to their I mean,
Exactly.
I was listening to that, so I'm like, okay. I mean, look, this is an album that when you talk about complete rap album, then I will say this is one of those complete rap albums. This is an album that talks about, vertically almost everything that it could relate to, from the culture, to the music industry, to the reality of life, to family and to love, and then even down to, praising God and giving God the thanks. This album has every single thing, on it. So let me ask you this now. What is going to be your general take or your general feel, after listening to this album multiple times?
I think my general take on it will be success. If you happen to listen to this song, I think, was it Jay-Z featuring Success? You see that the whole essence of this album is for Illbliss to tell the world, Nigerian hip hop community and the world at large, that, man, I've done my beats, I'm successful, and I'm still going at it. And I'm still at the zenith of my career. I can out-rap anybody in this country, and I can make blissful and beautiful music.
Okay, I mean, look, without any doubts, Oga Boss, Illbliss, that's Igbo boy. When you talk about rap OGs and, someone that has been holding it down for rap through the years, that maintained, that hip hop culture. When people talk about, oh, rap is dead in Nigeria, and in my mind, I'm like, you people don't listen to Illbliss, because if you listen to Illbliss, then you know, say rap never die. Now, another thing I own at the year, you understand? Because he has always kept it. And at this stage of his career, for him to still be able to put out, this solid body of work, like you rightly said, it just shows, how successful he has been. And one thing I like about him with this album is the fact that it doesn't relent. It didn't relent. He had that same braggadocious, authoritative command flow on every track, and it was just so beautiful, and it was just so lovely to to listen to. I'm not going to lie to you. If you've not listened to this album, the album come out for February. If you've not listened to this album by now, before the end of the year, do yourself a favor and listen to good rap album. On a scale of 1 to 10, if you had to rate the album, what are you going to rate the album?
It's an 8.5 for me.
It's an 8.5 for you. Now, I know that you've listened to a lot of, or let me say a couple of hip hop albums this year. So let me put you on a scale, or let me put you on a hot seat and ask you, would this album make it into your top 3 rap albums for the year?
Looking at it, I think it would. It would make it to the top 3, but I'll prefer to put it in the top 5 presently, because I'm trying to gather my thoughts about our rap albums that I've listed, Nigerian rap albums that I've listened to all through the year. I've listened to quite a lot, but I still can't put. I'm trying to I'm remembering a few of them, but I think top 5 them most definitely presently.
What gives it that qualification to be able to make it? Like you rightly said, you've listened to a couple of rap album this year. So what gives it that thing to be able to make it into your top 5?
I think the fact that I can remember the album immediately. As I'm talking about this, I'm trying to remember albums. I remember Full-Time Job by Phyno, though it's more recent, but I could remember immediately. And I know that this album is making it to my top 5. I can remember the AQ's album, Purple. Purple is not a color or something like that. I can remember that album immediately. So I know that this one is making it to my top 5 because it's truly enjoyable, and I did like it. Same thing with this, with Sideh Kai, sorry. So definitely I know that it's making it to my top 5, and it's memorable.
I'm not even going to argue with you with what you've said. If I'm also going to make my, top 5 albums for this year, it's going to be definitely, in my top 5. Which position it did, I'm not going to tell now. Don't worry, you guys will figure out that later. But it's definitely going to be, in my top 5. The reason for me is because, number one, it's just beautiful. Illbliss once again stuck to, his authentic self, which he has always done. Rap and rap and rap and rap. And he also made an album whereby everybody could relate to it. If you're on the street and if you're hustling, there's a song there for you that you're going to relate to it. If you're one of these, Gen Zs that feel like, oh, rap, not they sell again, there's a song for you that Gen Z is literally a title on the song, on the album. So obviously it is for you guys. And, for every person going through, every, every woman that is going through 1 or 2 difficulties during childbirth. I think Daughters is one of those songs that when you listen to it, you feel like, look, these guys, yes, in as much as they are celebrities, they are also humans. They also have things, that they are dealing with. Because I'm not going to lie to you, when I listen to that song, I'm like, yo, this is Illbliss being very, very, how would I call it, very, very vulnerable, talking about, his family. For someone that's, on social media, it seems very, very, no drama, no nothing. And then you hear him talk about, his life on a track. You just have to feel something, you understand? So for me, everything about the album is just dope. It's a pure and a classic example of what a proper rap album should be. And that is what, the album stands for. And if I'm also going to rate it, I'm going to give it, 8, over 10. That's going to be, my own rating for the album. And before we wrap everything up, let me just ask you, Neonate, is there anything else you might want to add to convince people to go and listen to the album for those that have not listened to the album so far?
Okay, one thing I would say is if you're a fan of rap music, you should listen to it because I believe that Illbliss is the most free-spirited and not caring what position you put me in rap music among all his peers and the younger ones that have come after him. If you can listen to this album, you take note of how he made mention of everybody's name in certain tracks, and how people he came about with, how he's still doing good, and people that came and met him and flourished through the hip hop community. And by the way, I want you all to know that if you're a fan of Fino, you should listen to Illbliss. If you're a fan of Zoro, you should listen to Illbliss. If you're a fan of Jerick the Hustler, you should listen to Illbliss. If you're a fan of every rap nigga from Eastern Nigeria, you should listen to Illbliss. Also, Hafiztonova doesn't like people using the word indigenous rap. But if you're a fan of indigenous rap, irrespective of the language they use in rapping, you should listen to Illbliss. Also, if you are the Americana kind of guy, Aganawana, you should listen to Illbliss because Illbliss spits a whole lot of crazy things in English. There is a record on Peace of Mind. He spitted something. He said, "Vanity upon vanity, I'm living my life with clarity. I pray nothing scam my sanity. Once I believe, I just move with audacity." Okay, I think those lines are okay enough for you to listen to Illbliss. I've said my piece.
I mean, look, you've said it all. That quote alone self, that quote alone self says it all. That is something very deep for everybody, to think about. So, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, all music lovers across the globe, and every member of the Chacha Nation, we have come to the end of another episode of the Chacha album review series on the Chacha Music Review Podcast. Neonate, thank you very much for being on the podcast. I really do appreciate you doing this with me.
Thank you for having me. It's nice being here.
All right, so till I come away with another episode, my name will always remain Hafiztonova, your musical plug, the creator of the Energy Force. Remember, when the pressure is getting worse, please take a break and take care of your mental health. It is very, very important. Peace out.
Time for the Cha-Cha gang. Give me the Cha-Cha gang. Rockin' with the best, the Cha-Cha gang. Give me the Cha-Cha gang. Alayela with Cha-Cha gang. Give me the Cha-Cha gang. What's in my body, Cha-Cha gang. Give me the Cha-Cha gang. Cha-Cha gang. What's in my body?